Welcome to another episode of High Proof Ashes. I'm one of your co-hosts, Jason JB Smoke, and across from me, of course,
Doran, no cool nickname, and we are back on location at one of our favorite spots.
we're back here at OCL, Cody Cigar Lounge up in Cleveland, Tennessee.
Yep.
If you haven't come and checked them out yet, you really should. They've got a real good community vibe going on here.
I agree.
You know, the ambiance and the atmosphere is very much, just of like brotherhood and sisterhood.
I would say atmosphere. This is, for me personally, this is the best one in the area as far as atmosphere goes.
Right.
There may be some other facilities that are bigger and
right.
With some other perks, but as far as the place where the camaraderie is the best, this is probably it. So
yeah. It's a pretty good place. But today for you, we are going to be smoking a brand we don't normally smoke.
Yeah.
I think we've probably given it, a little bit of knocks too.
Not me. I'm a fan.
Okay.
But I only smoke a few, right? So
Right.
They just have so many SKUs.
The brand in general has a lot of SKUs,
Yeah.
and to be fair, most of them are really not worth your time. Maybe if you're starting out and you're just wanting to try a bunch of stuff, you go for it. I know you can get them really good deals if you go out there and look, so there's nothing wrong with that.
So I'm not going to go as far as saying they're not worth your time. I think once you develop your palate, you find things that you like more. I still don't think they're bad sticks.
They're not bad, but they're not great. They're very much average cigars.
Absolutely. So I think that's what we're saying. Not necessarily not worth your time.
Okay, that's probably a little harsh.
Yeah,
that's probably a little harsh. There's probably half a dozen that I smoke on a regular basis.
But so what I'm saying is,
so
we could say that the problem is we have very mature palates at this point, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to smoke the things that we know that we like that fall in our wheelhouse. And our budget is different as well.
That's true.
All of those things play a role, right? So
very true.
When it comes to this brand, which we'll stop playing around, is Rocky Patel.
Yeah,
right?
It's Rocky Patel.
We're talking about Rocky Patel. It's just their brand does not cater to us anymore. It is more or less for the person who is not so much a mature palate, maybe doesn't care as much about what they smoke.
Right.
Right. Looking for a good budget stick. You can find a whole lot of stuff with Rocky Patel.
That's true. That's very true.
And it's not great, it's not bad. It's a very average stick, but you can always find them at almost every lounge.
They're everywhere.
And you can find something that you like.
So, without further ado, we are going to do the Sungrown Maduro.
Yes.
There is a non-Maduro version that has a completely different band than this. It's just a simple red or like maroon or kind of crimson band that just says Sungrown on it.
Yep.
This one, they kind of went all out on the band, and he'll get into it later. But this is the Rocky Patel Special Reserva Sungrown Maduro.
Yeah.
This is actually one of my favorite Rockies, as far as especially the budget side of things. He's got a couple that are higher end that I really enjoy, but in other than those few that are in the higher ends, this one I really enjoy.
Yeah.
So it's just like you say, it's just a lot of SKUs to go through.
That smells incredible.
Yeah, it smells very.
So I have not had this cigar, so it's going to be a new experience for me. But I can tell you right off the bat, this smells pretty freaking awesome. Jason's going right for it. He's jumping in, cutting. He must not have smoked today.
I haven't.
He's ready to go. So we're going to talk about our highlighted spirit today.
Yeah, we need to talk about it.
Yeah, we should put that down. We should bring this up before we go any further, because I'm going to drink it neat and then enjoy it with my cigar as well. I haven't had a chance to try it with a cigar yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
I haven't either.
So this is the Russell's Reserve pick that me and Jason and some other fellows went and did recently with Red Hot Liquors, and we think it is just amazing.
To put it lightly.
Yeah, right. So it's completely different than any other Russell's Reserve I've ever tried, right? It has a very different palate to it than I would say 99% of the Russell Reserves that you get.
Yeah, the thing is, like the palate on it is so many layers to it.
Yes.
And once you get past the layer, there's just another one sitting right behind it.
Yeah.
And so there's 5, 6, 7 layers on this thing.
I agree. I agree. So this is a 9-year, almost 10 years.
Almost
it's
10.
9 years, 10 months, I believe.
Yeah.
It is a Tyrone bottle. And it came from, let's see, Floor 4, Warehouse Tyrone. So, we think we did pretty good. So it was
how many
originally
barrels? What wasn't it, like 6 barrels?
It was a lot.
I think it was 6 barrels.
I felt pretty good when we left.
Yeah,
I was pretty nice. So distilled on February 13th, 2015, and was just bottled on October 3rd. So we just got it, just picked it up. You know, private barrel from Russell's. Unfortunately, you won't be able to get this even if you tried because it's sold out in about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
All right. Gone.
Gone.
You know, I don't know if that says something or not, but hey.
You know, it's interesting because most of those people probably hadn't tried the bottle.
No.
Right? This was all word of mouth.
Yes.
Hype.
Just based on the folks that went and picked and
that's right.
who it was.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and so we made sure we got ours. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But let's go ahead and try this thing neat.
Let's do it. Let's do that.
I don't know if you said it, but this is a barrel-proof, single barrel, whatever you want to call it. So it is rocking at 110. I believe when they poured it out of the barrel, it was slightly above 110.
It was 119.
Yeah, so they had.
But all Russells come down to 110.
Yeah, so they had to proof it down to 110. But I think it's interesting, you know, that it was that high in the barrel, and that's how we tasted it.
That's how we. But I was very pleasantly surprised when I got it at 110. It was even better than I remember.
I know.
Yeah.
I was lucky to sample it before we actually like.
Look at that color.
I know, man. The color is crazy on this thing.
Like, you know, I didn't even realize what I did. Look at the glass.
Yeah. That's funny.
Just happens to work perfectly. That's a Wild Turkey glass there.
It's so dark on the color.
It's just
especially for a 10-year.
It's
like
a beautiful like amber man.
And then the aroma on this thing.
You know,
it's so clean. Like it doesn't smell 110. It has these like fresh
fruits.
Like fresh fruits, you know, yeah. Like your apples and pears and grapes, kind of your lighter fruits. But the palate.
That's phenomenal. I'm going to say I probably should have primed. It was a little bit of a heater for my first pour. And it should be. It's 110, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's...
But all of those flavors still come through. But for the first pour tonight...
A little hot.
It's there.
Yeah. Well, we only have one thing. Would have been a good primer, I guess. Two. You got the Turkey 101 there.
We got the 101 there.
The Long Branch.
Yeah. I mean, what's the Kentucky Spirit come in at?
It's 101 as well.
Okay. So, I mean, that's a little better. It's a little better.
But, man, and then it just lingers on the palate.
It does. Like, it just hangs out, dude.
Like, it's such a long finish.
And,
you know, like, we're going to give this thing all kinds of praise, and you guys are not going to be able to get this.
No.
Not unless you know someone that knows someone that happened to pick up an extra bottle, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that there's just, I don't know, I think they do a lot of single barrel, you know, picks, but they just go all over the country, and unless you know, you're not getting one.
No.
Like, it's totally
local. Because they go so quickly, right?
Well, you got, I mean, turkey, you know, people out there are just turkey fans.
Yeah, like
huge
anything turkey that comes in 9 out of 10 times is going to go really quickly, right?
Of course.
I think everybody knows how big of fans we are of turkey, right? You can see just by looking at this table. You know, this came from 2 different households. I have additional bottles.
I was going to say,
bag.
this isn't everything that I have.
This isn't everything, right? So I've got a ton of turkey. I've got turkey in my decanter at home. It's 101 rye. Right. I have a turkey decanter. Okay.
Yes.
Like, you know, turkey.
Like branded decanter.
Yeah, like turkey branded decanter.
Right.
Turkey, you know, glass. Like, so.
Right.
Yeah. But let's do this thing. Let's light.
Man, let's light this thing up.
Let's get lit.
Nice draw. Ooh, it's got a little flavor on the draw.
So by chance, did you happen to look at your watch before we got started? Because
no.
I totally did not.
I mean, I had been looking, just curious what time it was, but exactly when, no. toasty.
It's quite nice, man. It's like
There's like a
really rich.
toasted marshmallow flavor to it almost.
I hate marshmallows, so I'm not gonna give you that. And I like this, so I don't think I'm getting marshmallows.
Something toasted, like something.
It's definitely toasted.
Like
it's got a very
that was
rich
the first
flavor.
thing that came to mind, though.
It's got a very rich flavor to it for sure. Man, what? I just filled this thing up. Okay, see?
You know, turn it up just a little bit. Here you go.
I'll go through.
Got his backup. Got another backup in there. I saw it.
I do. A couple more in the bag too. It's just this one little small section there. Wow, this was the perfect lighter anyway. Again, it's so quite surprising. The word I want to keep using is rich. Like there's this rich flavor, right? Like just,
which makes sense. I mean, it's a Maduro, you know, which they tend to be oily and rich.
Yeah.
Like you should be even kind of feeling it on the lips a little bit.
Like and the retro is nice too. Like it's really nice.
It's a nice cigar.
Like, you know, again, that's why I hate to like beat up a brand and be like, you know, I think every cigar has its place and its time.
Yeah.
You know,
they're one of those brands that they just have a lot of SKUs.
Yeah.
And only a handful of them
appeal
are
to
actually
you.
Yes, maybe that's what it is. Maybe
Yes.
that's a better way to say it. But listen, I've never had a bad Rocky. I've had one bad Rocky.
Okay.
Okay. But other than that, like they're all smokable.
Yes.
They're all entirely smokable.
Yeah.
So I guess it just comes down to your palate, you know, your pocketbook, your mood, you know, that sort of thing. And I'm not even going to get into the one that to me is just a no.
Yeah, no.
But,
no, we don't have to do that. Like, but again, I know for a fact we've recently bought some. Like we bought the Rocky Patel ALRs.
The ALR is totally yes.
The A10.
The A10 is yes. That's an $8 stick.
I'm a fan of the vintage 1990. I don't believe you are, but
I am. That was somebody else you're thinking of.
I don't know who it is.
That said, no, I don't like that one. And we were like, what? That's actually a pretty good cigar.
I'm a fan of it. So,
yeah.
You know, there are quite a few that I enjoy a lot. Now, again, there are others out there that get higher in price point. And
right.
Not that it's a bad cigar at the higher price point. It's just the issue of there are cigars I'd rather smoke more at the price point. That's just me.
That's understandable. I mean, we always say you kind of have to enter price and availability into the mix. Like you just have to. Yeah, this thing's got some, I don't know, it certainly coats the palate.
Absolutely.
I'm having a hard time placing that flavor.
That's the thing for me. Like I couldn't give you exactly what I got from it. Like it's such a rich flavor to it.
Yeah.
Like it really is like, and this is not a full body cigar. Like it's a medium. It's a good medium.
Yeah, it's on the high end of medium,
yeah,
probably.
You know.
Yeah.
But it's not full strength or anything like that. You know. So, but the flavor that comes from it gives you an intensity.
Right.
That makes it stand out. So surprisingly, I've never had this one, and I like it quite a bit. Especially in the, you know, we're still in the foot, but you know, it's a good stick.
Yeah, this is so. Ooh, I just retroed a little bit. That is nice. That retro is like thick and like
man.
I don't know, like it's kind of decadent almost.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
And this is a very affordable cigar. I think this runs on retail at like $12.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask you. So like brick and mortar, you're at $12.
I think it might even be cheaper than that.
Okay.
I honestly don't. For Rocky, I don't know a lot of their retail prices because I don't buy their stuff at retail.
Me neither.
Except for maybe the ALR.
Right. And the A10. I buy the A10 retail sometime, and I get that for like $8.
Yeah, that one's $8. A lot of their stuff is sub $8.
Yeah, and that's why I can't be mad at it, realistically. Right?
Yeah, I guess you're right. It is kind of a budget cigar.
We don't smoke in that price point a ton.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't
not
think about
anymore
it that
anyway. Like we may have when we first started.
Sure. Yeah.
But at this point now, we're just not on average smoking in that price point often. And there are just a few cigars out there that, like, if you do some really good job shopping, you can get
you can get these for a really good price.
Right. So
other than their top line stuff, you can get everything Rocky makes at incredible pricing.
yes, don't disagree.
So, yeah, and this was one of those that I got for that incredible pricing. So this and the regular Sungrown, the vintage 1990, and the decade. Those are my sort of regular rotation Rockies, you know, in the more affordable realm.
I agree.
The ALR and the 60 are special sticks that I reserve, you know, typically for.
So I don't have any 60s. I think it's a phenomenal cigar. If I'm not mistaken, it's 22, something like that.
It's up there. Yeah, it's
22,
around, it's around $20. I don't know, somewhere around
there are just things I'm going to smoke before I enter the 60 into the conversation.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough.
All day a Liga. If I can get my hands on a Liga.
Yeah.
If I'm in a place that has Ligas and, you know, a 60, the Liga just is better for my palate. Fair
enough. But the Ligas are definitely harder to find.
Absolutely.
So, you know,
absolutely,
the Rockies are everywhere. They may not have a 60, but the Rockies brand is everywhere.
And the truth be told is like 9 times out of 10, like if I'm going into a cigar lounge, unless you have something really, really rare that I can't get anywhere else, I'm not shopping in that above $20 price point. Because I probably got something in my travel Humi,
right,
that is at that price point or above.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to buy those things that I want to support your local establishment.
But you're not going to go crazy.
I'm not going to go and buy outrageous.
So, or the nose on this
it just gets better as it opens up in the glass.
Like the ethanol kind of sort of burns away, and you're just left with this just clean, fruity note.
And surprisingly, these pair really well together. The cigar and the bourbon pair really, really well together. Like it creates this sweetness that is very nice for the cigar.
Yeah, the cigar has this like toasty, rich, oily, you know, kind of that experience, and then this brings you the sweetness, the caramel, the bright flavors. This gives you the dark flavors, if you will.
I agree. I totally agree. Totally agree.
I love happening upon a interesting pairing. Did we bring anybody bring the regular Russells? Or did that not happen?
No, I have a Russell 6-year rye. I don't know that I have that one right now. I don't think I have a Russell.
I have one. I guess I didn't grab it.
So I'm terrible with knocking those Russells out. Like that Russell's 10-year. Like, you know, I run through those.
I'm curious. I know like we're talking 20 proof points, but this against the regular Russells, like
it would kill it. Like it's two completely different flavors, man. Like, and I can tell you that just off memory. Like,
I'm just wondering though, like, if you want to talk about a primer, maybe the Russell's 10 is a primer.
That would probably work.
And then it
comes in what, around 90?
90 proof. Yeah, 90 proof.
Yeah. Because for flavor on it, like it is super flavorful to be a 90 proof.
Yes.
Yeah, that probably would have been a very good primer to start out with. Not gonna lie. But again, so after the initial first sip, you settle into the 110. The primer is not necessarily
right, of course,
a big thing.
But this thing, as it sits in the glass, it just develops even more. This is one I'm really curious about. You get it to halfway and then just let it sit for 6 months.
Very true. God, it's so good though. It's just, I'm gonna have to work really hard not to smash this bottle.
Good thing you got plenty.
Yeah. I got a few. I got a few. I did let one go. I let one ride.
I did as well.
So.
But
to someone who I knew would drink it, right?
Right.
Like,
oh yeah, same here.
It was definitely a.
I had a friend coming up for football that day to watch college football for the day.
Yeah, and I know him. I know the guy.
Yeah, and I was going to send him over there to go get his share.
Yeah.
And after I left with what I left with, through various avenues, I was like, hey, you don't need to go over there. And good thing, because I think by the time he would have gotten there,
they would have been gone.
They would have been gone anyway.
Yeah.
So he was happy that I was able to get some extras and
Yeah,
be able to give him one. But yeah, I saw who you gave or will give yours to.
Man, so I don't know what I'm gonna follow this up with up here. Like, I guess I'm just gonna do 2 pours of this because, like, I might go Kentucky Spirit.
This would be the only thing.
That's what I was about to say. I might go Kentucky Spirit.
I mean, this is what won our turkey blind. So
yeah, might have should have put my bottle up there. I think I got a little more than you do.
Yeah, I think you do. That's all right. About time to kill that one anyway. You know, the only reason I haven't killed it is because I'm not going to gain any space. Because all I'm going to do is go buy another one.
Yes.
So it's the only reason why I haven't killed it. It's not going to help anything. I got so many things to drink that
every time I start to feel bad about how large my collection is getting. I talk to somebody else that has a crazy collection. I'm like, I'm cool. I'm straight. Like, I haven't gone crazy yet.
So my friend that came over, we were talking about how many bottles I have, and he opens the lounge door and the lights are already on, and he just takes a couple of steps back and he's like, dude,
what's going on here?
And I'm like, what? He's like, you think you got enough bottles? I'm like, man, I could throw you like 4 names right now that would put me to shame.
Yes, easily.
And he's like, what kind of shame? And I'm like, 1,000 bottles,
2,000
bottles,
2,000.
600.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, you're joking. I'm like, I'm not.
Nope.
So, my measly number that I have compared to that is nothing. And a third of that is either duplicates, bunkered, or being collected.
Yeah.
So,
like,
seriously,
we ain't gonna talk. I was about to ask you, like, what? And I just, neither one of us need to say it out loud.
How many?
Yeah,
no,
neither one of us.
Notice I haven't yet.
Yeah, like, never mind. Cheers.
Yeah, right.
We don't need to say it out loud.
Like I'm collecting the Pinhook Vertical series, right? So those are just put away. I've got duplicates, bottles that are already open, right? So those are just kind of put away to the side. And then I have bottles that I bought an extra one of, have finished the first one, and that one is bunkered away.
Yep, just in case.
To just pull out at a later date.
Yep.
So probably a good third of my bottles are like that.
I wouldn't say a third of mine, but I've got the ones I really, really like. If I can, I have a backup.
Maybe not a third. Maybe it's more like a quarter.
You know what I'm saying? I definitely try to have a backup of the stuff I really, really like. But also at the same time, like, once you get to a certain, I think once you get above 40 bottles, it's really hard to drink through what you have anyway.
Yeah, at that point, you're kind of maintaining or growing possibly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the biggest problem that we have is space, right? I think that's what my buddy was talking about. He's like, I can't really buy much more because I don't have the space for it. I said, you need a bigger cabinet.
Yeah.
And he says, I don't have room for another cabinet. Make room.
Yeah, you figure it out. So, it is what it is, though. Like, nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I definitely have plans in my head about, long-term big plans about when we expand the house.
Yeah, we've talked about it. Like,
and how we're going to
things are going to move around a little bit. Yeah.
And like, I want like a full wall. I want to use a full wall to have.
That's a nightmare. You know that, right?
I know, but that's what I want to do. I want to, I'm only talking like 2 or 3 bottles deep. So you're talking. Yeah,
but if you're talking about a whole wall,
that's what I want to do.
You approaching that 3-digit, high 3-digit.
I understand.
Like,
I understand.
But
I want to have the room to have all of my stuff out. And I say a whole wall. We're not talking a stinking 20-foot wall. We're talking an 8-foot wall.
That's, again.
You're like, that's a lot still.
I don't think you're really thinking about, like, like we're looking around this room. That's not an 8-foot wall.
No, that's a 15-foot wall. That's double the size.
So
I'm talking about. Just say half that.
Okay.
Let's just say half that.
I don't know if that's 15 foot.
Let's just say half of that. That probably is close to 15 feet. But I mean, so essentially floor to ceiling. And then what I haven't decided yet is my cigars, right? So my thought is to split the liquor wall with the humidor. So
you're going to put the Humi right in the middle, and have bottles on both sides
with the bottles. Yeah. That's what I'm maybe thinking. I don't know.
Okay.
Because it's like you say, you start creating space and things just magically fill that space.
They do. They just, because I went and bought space, and then all of a sudden I was like, shit,
Where did my space go?
Why do I have all these bottles all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and my wife is constantly on me, like, you need more? Like, so.
I keep telling mine I need more.
Yeah,
Like I look at what I have, and it's like I need. She said the same thing about cigars. She went looking in there looking for something, and she couldn't find it. She was just like, "There's stuff everywhere," and I'm like, "No, there's boxes everywhere, and the boxes take up a lot of room in there."
Yeah.
I said, if I was to take everything out of the boxes and put everything in those drawers, I probably wouldn't even fill up the drawers.
Right.
Because I don't have as much as you think I have.
No, you just have boxes in there.
I just have boxes in there for multiple reasons, but there's just no point. Like, I got the space, I might as well use it. So. But hey, listen. So here's what happens, right? You start out with something, right? A desktop Humi, or a little, I don't know, a shelf thingy that holds, say, 10, 12 bottles, right? That's where you start. And eventually you fill that thing up.
Now, what happens is, so there's a step before that. It's the moment where you start to fall in love with bourbon or spirits, right?
Sure.
You go to someone else's place.
Right.
And you taste a couple of great bottles, and you're like, you know what? I need this, this, and this, and this. And that's where the problem begins, right? And then that's where it starts to just trickle into this nightmare.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, so you start with a Ziploc bag or a travel Humi or something like that. Let's go there, right? Because you've found that you enjoy it, but you're not into it that much. Whatever, you're smoking 1 a week, and then it's 2 a week, and then it's 10 a week. And then eventually you're like, I can't. This little guy right here is not going to do it.
Right.
So maybe you go bigger travel Humi, and then that eventually you grow out of that. And so now you're going to get your little desktop, little 50 counter, whatever. And then the 50 count doesn't last you very long. So then you're having to make a choice on, do I go with a 100 or a 200 count chest, or do I go with a cabinet, like a small cabinet style, whatever. So I went from, I'm going to say Ziploc bags, really, honestly.
You went crazy though. You got a really good deal. So.
I did. So I took it, right?
So that's the one caveat to yours.
Well, so I went from Ziploc bags to a 50 count desktop to a 300 count cabinet.
Yeah.
To a second 300 count, the same one.
Yeah.
Okay. And I stayed there for a while.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say that I was out of room, but a really good big Humi fell into my lap for a crazy good price, and I could not pass it up.
Right.
So that one is a 5,000 count. I think that's just like Coronas and Robustos. No boxes.
Without boxes, yes.
Right.
But I mean, even with boxes in there, you could probably still get 1,000 sticks.
Easily. Yeah, easily.
Like,
and that's where I'm at. Like, I've been there for 5 years now. I think I've had that Humi, and I don't see me filling that thing up anytime soon. The cabinet fell in my lap. The liquor cabinet fell in my lap. It was $150.
Yeah.
So it's an old wooden china cabinet thing, and it holds 100 bottles.
Yeah.
If you load it up, which I did.
And it broke.
And I broke the glass shelf.
Because it's not really made for 100.
Because it's not really made for 100 bottles.
It's actually a china cabinet that you put bottles in. So it was made to hold china, which is not nearly as heavy as 100 bottles, right?
No, absolutely not.
So, and that's actually, I bought a bookcase. And I started thinking after you broke yours, I started thinking like, I can't keep putting bottles in there.
No, because what you bought is probably 50 pounds per shelf at best.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And
because it's particle board.
Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself like, I can't keep stacking bottles on there.
Right.
So, like, I gave some away the other day, like stuff I know I wouldn't drink. I just gave away to a friend, like 4 or 5 bottles. He was like, I want to start a bourbon collection. Got you. Hold on.
Right. Yeah.
Take those with you.
Want, yeah.
Take that with you. He was like, well, what? I was like, none of them are bad. They're just not me.
Right.
So,
So I totally nerded out on the new shelves, and actually looked up the weight of bottles.
Yeah.
Right. Filled up, and the break weight of plywood.
Okay.
And I could have went with the half inch. That would have gave me 130 something pounds of weight.
Yeah.
The bottles get up to about 100. And for like $4 more, I was able to go up to the 3/4 inch.
Okay.
So I'm like, nah, screw it. I'm going to go to 3/4. So I did that, sanded it all down, cut it to shape, size, whatever. put everything in there. Those things aren't. It's not
They ain't
bowing
bowing
at
at
all.
all.
It's not bowing at all.
Yeah.
You know, so if anything, the things that actually hold the shelves up will break, not the shelf itself.
Right.
You know, so I've thought about putting in some little angle braces or whatever. I might do that, just to make sure. But it ain't going nowhere now. And I put new lighting in there.
Yeah.
So
I haven't been over since you did all the changes.
The new lighting.
I gotta get over.
The new lighting is way better.
Yeah.
Because it was glass shelves, it was a china cabinet. There was only lights at the very top, right, which goes through the glass. But now that I have opaque shelves, there was going to be nothing there.
Yeah, no, you were going to have no light on any of the shelves except the top one.
Right.
Probably. Yeah.
And so change that up. Looks really nice. I love it.
Cool beans. Cool beans. So let me see that Kentucky Spirit. Let's see how that tastes after.
But that thing is definitely pretty much full.
Oh, I know it is.
Like the liquor cabinet is pretty much full. There's no room in my lounge for another cabinet. I'd have to get rid of something. And I don't know what that would be.
Wine.
So, I mean, you know what? I could probably find a place for the wine cabinet and put like a small cabinet underneath the TV like that is.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. I could do that.
All right.
I need to finish my pour here.
So I think we might have like another 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we're about 20, 25 minutes.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I think. Right? Like, realistically, seems about right. You know, so. Yeah, 6:02. So I'll tell you, this cigar may be better than Jason gave credit to it. Like,
what do you mean?
This
I like this. I like
this
this
is a top-notch stick.
No, I like the cigar. I didn't give this one any knocks at all.
No,
this
but like I don't know
rotation.
that you told me it was like.
I didn't tell you like anything beforehand.
No, and it could just be the pours that are pairing with it, making it that much better. I don't know, but I think overall this has been a great cigar. Like combustion-wise,
yeah,
you know, construction-wise,
it's in regular rotation for me.
You know,
this is a regular rotation cigar for me. So I mean, just like the Master Blends, the New World Cameroon, the UC10, like this is another one. I don't think I've named this cigar as far as being in my regular rotation, but it is in my rotation.
So half of the stuff you just named hasn't been a regular rotation for me in a while. Like I have to
just because you're out.
Because
you're out.
I have so many cigars, like so many really like nice cigars too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this year we did a lot of traveling, so I hit a lot of humidors or a lot of cigar shops in different areas. So you know, Arizona, Florida, Alabama, New York, like I mean, New York, New Jersey, like I loaded up everywhere. Like if I found something nice, I bought it. So I've just and then Barn Smoker.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And I bought more.
Yeah.
Like we went to a lounge and I bought 2 boxes while I was there. Yeah. One for me and one for the wife. Because they had that new limited Deadwood, the Day of the Dead.
I'm curious to try that.
It's actually probably their best one.
Hey, how we doing?
It's probably the best Deadwood, probably.
So now, it's also infused?
Yeah, just like it is. All the
How sweet?
It's not overly sweet. But it's flavored for sure. But I'm biased because it's box press.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to let me hold one of these.
You're not talking to the right person.
Oh, I need to talk to her.
Yeah. You're like, you gotta talk to the wife.
I think I can make that work.
But yeah. Boy, the retro on this thing is really nice.
Dude, everything about this cigar I like a lot.
It's really nice, yeah. Like I said, I do smoke this regularly. It's just that we've never really mentioned it.
No, definitely have not. And that's funny because, like, I don't know that we've done any other. Yeah, we've done maybe the A10.
We may have done the A10.
But I can't think of any other Rockies.
No, because
that we've done on the podcast.
We haven't done the ALR. I know that.
We should definitely do it. I know we've talked about it. We both have them.
We do. And then there was that new one. I say new one that we've never seen. That was over at CI. Mm-hmm. I don't even know what it is now. I'd have to go look at the video again. But speaking of, if you haven't watched that video, we did a tour of the CI Cigars International in East Ridge. walked the aisles,
Yep.
you know, kind of showed you what they had, talked about them a little bit, grabbed one of the workers there to help us find something.
Yep. Man, we got to try some more Man Awards.
We do need to try some more Man Awards, huh? Yeah.
So many great things that, like, you know, there's so much to do, so much to try.
Yes.
That's crazy. Legitimately crazy.
I'm so glad that you've kind of broken your shell a little bit about trying new cigars.
So I never had an issue with trying.
You're getting more excited
Yeah,
about
for sure.
trying new stuff.
So, but again, don't get it twisted. I'm still a creature of habit.
Sure. But you are way more open to trying something new than you were 3 years ago.
Absolutely. The caveat to that being, it's probably only going to happen like when we do the podcast. If I'm going somewhere to smoke in my leisure, I'm smoking something that I definitively know that I like.
Fair enough.
Right?
Fair enough.
Like when we
Not
visit,
me. I smoke new stuff all the time.
I buy new stuff all the time. I don't. So here's my thing. Like, the worst case scenario for me is like I go somewhere, right? We walk in, we go to a new lounge, I buy something there, and I hate it while I'm sitting there, right? So then I got to give the bad news to the guy that talked me into it, or the lady that talked me into it, and say, I hate this thing, you know, and I got to light something else. So I'd rather just smoke something I enjoy and smoke that new one in private and see if I really like it. Because trust me, in private, there's some stuff I've been like, yep, nope, not me.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
Yeah. So, man, I just took a sip of this Kentucky Spirit. This is pretty damn close to that. Like, it's not at that level.
It's more well-rounded and reserved, I think.
Like the aroma was pretty damn close.
Yeah.
This is not as hot.
No.
It's not as complex, and it's not as like strong on the flavors.
I agree.
Right, and it doesn't have the layers like that has.
This is a. Go ahead, finish.
But I want to praise this bottle because this is available, and I mean, it's incredible. It's not this, but it's incredible to me how close it is to that.
Right. That's what I was going to say. Is this is a one-off?
Yeah.
This is every once in a while I'm going to visit this bottle, right?
Yeah.
Which I can visit a little more than every once in a while because of the amount that I have. That Kentucky Spirit, you can get it. So if I want that flavor profile, that Kentucky Spirit is a great one to have, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, really and truthfully, like, turkey is turkey. You can go down this line right here. You're gonna enjoy every bottle.
They're all good. They're all good. I mean, look how low some of these bottles are.
Like,
you know.
And so the bad news about this is, like, I just bought this, right? So you know, it hasn't even really been. And the thing about the Wild Turkey 101 is just I have so much other stuff that I can't drink through that sometimes now this is getting neglected, even though it's like one of my favorite.
So it's in my decanter as well.
Yeah.
And when I find myself going to it, is I've had a few pours, you know, and I want something to drink, but I don't want any of my nice stuff.
Yeah.
And so the decanter is out of the cabinet, right? It's sitting right there in front of me. I can take 2 steps, grab it, pour it, and I know I'm going to enjoy it.
Yep.
It's not killing the bank. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to so much not worry, but like concentrate on the flavors because I've poured something that's nice.
Yep. So my thing is a little bit different. When I'm standing at that damn cabinet and I'm looking and I can't make a decision, I go to my decanter.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Because it's like, I'm thinking this shouldn't be this difficult.
Right. It shouldn't.
Right? Like, just grab something. It's here for us to drink. But there's still that thing in the back of your head that's like, stay away from that good shit. Right? Like, you can't get that no more. Stay away from that.
Right.
So, grab the decanter, go ahead and have a pour. And while I'm having that one, it clicks like, I know what I want next.
Right.
Because this flavor profile just popped me to go,
right,
this is good, but now I know what I want to drink.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's rare that if I decide to drink, that I'm going to have just one. Right? Like, I'm probably going to have 1 or 2, you know, maybe 3
right.
On an off night. Because most of the times if I'm drinking, I'm not smoking as well. I know that's a little different for you. But
right.
You have a lounge, so. But for me, 9 times out of 10, if I crack a bottle, I'm just drinking with nothing to offset that. So every once in a while, it can get a little wonky because I start having fun, and before I know it, I'm like, oh,
I'm gonna feel this.
I went hard, like,
Yeah.
you know, 4 bottles on the table. I done put 2 back already, you know. So
That's funny.
but yeah, let's see. Yeah, I think we have to go final thoughts.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's go final thoughts.
All right.
I'll get started. So on the pour, the Russell's pour, I mean, it's just the absolute best turkey product that I've probably ever had. Now, I've not had a lot of their crazy, $200+ stuff. I've had a few of those, but I would even say this is better than that.
Okay.
So I don't know if, and I wasn't a huge fan of the Russell's 15, and I would put that on top of the Russell's 15.
Okay.
Me personally, I think that's just because the age went past the point and it started getting too oaky for me.
Okay.
And too dry. I think that's why I didn't enjoy it as much as some of our other folks that were there. So for me, like, this is probably the best pour, and I'm with you. I'm going to be pouring the hell out of those for years to come. Mm-hmm. And as far as the Kentucky Spirit goes, I mean, it's a great backup to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I want this, but I don't want to actually pour that because I don't, we can't get it anymore, right?
Right.
I know I can go to this and get something very, very similar to that.
Yeah.
On the cigar, it's a great cigar. I mean, for the price, it's pretty well available. It's kind of dark and it's rich, but it's not overly strong on either the strength or the flavor. I think they complement each other very well. I'm happy with the pour that we did. Like, it's complementing this so well.
Yeah.
I could see an aged rum going really well with this too.
Yeah, I would think so.
But that's what I got.
I got you. I'll start with the cigar. I am extremely impressed with this. The conversation we started out with was Rocky doesn't necessarily fit our palate anymore. This one is everything you want in a cigar.
Yeah.
Like, not too strong, not too light, right? Plenty of flavor.
Right.
Great construction, great combustion. Everything was right on it. It checked every box for me. The thing that makes it even better is I don't have to break the bank to get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I have to smoke a few more.
Yeah.
But I may, depending on what I can find this for when I scour the earth, I may like this more than the AJ Fernandez and the Master Blends.
Okay. That's hard to argue. This is a good cigar.
Like, this surprised me.
Okay.
Because, again, even though I don't knock Rocky, this surprised me. It came out of left field and said, hey.
Oh, that's great.
Check me out.
I'm glad you love it.
I'm doing something special over here. As far as our 2 pours go, listen, the Russell's Reserve, man, like, I'm sorry you guys can't get it. That's really all I can say about it, is I'm sorry you guys can't get it. If there's one in your local market, try it. Try every one that comes out in your local market, if they're at the right price point.
You will find Russell Reserve single barrels out there in the wild. It won't be this pick. It might not be a pick that was done at that store.
Right.
Maybe the distiller picked it.
Absolutely.
But every single barrel Russell's I've ever had has been a banger. This one has been leaps and bounds.
It's above.
The other ones.
It's above.
But those have been really great.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I would say, if you can get this pick from somebody, get it. The Kentucky Spirit, there's nothing to be said about that. It's classic turkey. It's a phenomenal product. Go get it. Yeah. Just that simple.
And I think we just got a sign to really wrap things up.
Yeah, we got to wrap it up, right? Our light just said bye-bye. So with that being said, I'm Doran, no cool nickname. Y'all know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you hit that little bell so that you get notifications when we drop new content. Put some smoke in the air.
Yeah, man.
My partner,
Jason JB Smoke. We'll see y'all on the next one.